Oh yeah, back man. Told y'all, man. I'm back at it, bro. I'm not playing. You know what I mean? I'm keeping up. Um, Today, bro, I'm a get real about these finances, man. I kind of touched on it with the whole trade video, and I do want to expand on trades a little bit more, which I definitely am. I'm gonna let y'all know some more information about that. But today, bro, we're gonna talk about protecting your money, bro. And I had to use Marshawn Lynch for the video, cause man, that quote, protect y'all chicken. That's my favorite like sports interview ever, and for good reason, bro. Because I feel like all of us can learn something from that interview. It's just about taking care of your money and being serious about your money. You know, a lot of us live broke lives, even though we have good paying jobs. You know what I mean? They talking about people who make $125,000 or $100,000 a year live check to check. That's not a inflation problem. That's not a money problem. That's a spending problem. So I wanted to, come in and talk and give some cues and just drop some gems on y'all, bro. But what made this come about was originally I was gonna do a video about traveling, right? I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. This traveling craze, bro, has gotten so out of hand and so crazy that I honestly at this point I feel like after COVID, like Airbnb and the Hiltons and Verbo and all these companies and the Delta, I feel like all these companies like got together, huddled up, and tried to find ways to propagate traveling on social media sites and things like that. That's how ridiculous it's gotten with this traveling. Because, bro, this traveling thing is just a glaring example about how financially both immature and illiterate that we are now, bro. And I feel like naturally speaking, people have always been a bit financially illiterate because you only know what you have to know. If you don't, if your job can sustain you and your family for your whole life and can retire you off a pension, what the fuck do you need to know about investing for? You see what I'm saying? Like it's very, human beings are very like survival based. You know what I mean? We have survived this long off of how good we can just adapt and overcome and find the path of least resistance. Doing things smarter and not harder. So when you think about like that, financial literacy in like the 40s and 30s probably was not as important because you didn't have to. It wasn't as big of a need, and it was fairly new. I like the I want to say the gold standard was adopted. I mean, we left the gold standard in America like after like the 60s. Don't quote me on that. It was sometime in the 1900s, and then the stock market became a real big thing in the early 1900s. So by the 30s and 40s, it was still fairly new. Get on topic. Anyhow, back to this traveling thing, bro. People are going into debt to travel. Legit. And you know what? And I want to give y'all an example because, like I said, I got stories of all this shit, bro. Back in 2021, I ended up going on a trip to Florida. It was my first time going to Florida. I had never been to Florida. I was kind of coerced a bit, you know what I mean? Like, I really didn't want to go. I was talked into it. At the end of the day, I got to own my decision. I'm the one that made the decision. So I ended up going to Florida. The reason why I didn't want to go was because at the time, I was saving up to pay off all my debt. Because I had a big thing that I wanted to make a big push and pay off all my consumer debt. Right? And, pay off my car too. And I was doing my thing. At the time, bro, expense-wise, I really didn't have a whole lot of expenses. Like, my apartment was very affordable. I had just got a raise at work, so I was doing well. So I had more than enough money to have a good savings and everything else. But I didn't have that because I was, making bad decisions here and there. But going to this Florida trip, bro, that goddamn trip set me back like 3 years. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I say you need 3 things. If you want to go on a trip, I say you need 3 things in order to say if you should go on a trip or not. Right? Number 1, will that trip put you in debt? Meaning that can you completely fund that trip without, like, you can use your credit card, but you have to have the funds to pay it off the moment it's due. I'm talking about you basically could have just paid for the whole trip yourself, but you want to use your card. So do you have the funds without going into debt? Do you have the savings to not have to spend as much as you would need to or like out there and then come back and not miss a beat? It'd be like you never left. And 3, this one people just don't take into account. Will you get fired? Like, do you actually have the time? Because a lot of people, just put their jobs on the line to go on fucking trips. It's ridiculous to me. But like, if you have those 3 things, knock yourself out. Go wherever you want to go as much as you want to. With them saying like 80% of Americans don't have $500 in their savings account, I would say that those 3 things I just said, 75 to 80, 90% of people that you see on social media that's traveling don't have those funds to do that. I didn't have the funds to do that. So when I took my ass to Orlando, goddamn, I ended up spending like, I want to say like $2,000, maybe $2,200 in that whole weekend. I think I was out there for like 4 days, 4.5 days, something like that. Blew all this bread that I didn't have, fucked up my credit card that I was paying off, and now I'm back to square one. Now, here's the thing, right? And this is why I say how stupid it is to don't get me wrong, I had great memories. I had a good time out there, right? Here's the problem. It's like I talked about in the last video, bro. Life happens. So you thinking you having fun, you bullshitting, and guess what happened to me after that, right? I got back, this is in April, right? That October, I had a car accident. That January, I got laid off from my job, the one I was talking about in the last video. And I want to say maybe 2 months after that, I filed my taxes, the IRS hit me up for 2 racks. Lit my ass the fuck up. That was in a 6-month span. I was boom, 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 knocked me down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, because of, other circumstances, I bounced back from this situation. But this is what I'm talking about, right? All those things I just said that happened, I could have been prepared and ready for them had I not saying not gone out, because I'm not telling y'all not to go travel, but delayed gratification. If you don't have those 3 things, leave it alone, bro. It'll be there. If you don't have those 3 things, please leave it alone. That's all I'm saying. And the reason why I'm making this video about, taking care of your money, bro, you gotta, I believe that financial literacy is the only thing that, if you have, all walks of life need it, right? But if you have it, it's so simple. Like, once you understand money, once you understand saving, once you understand investing, once you understand credit, it is so simple that you really don't have to worry about anything else once you get that down pat. The only thing you really need outside of having financial literacy is a good source of income. But if you have a good source of income, meaning a career or something like that, all you need to know is how to, good savings plans, credit, investing. And when I talk about investing, I'm just saying stocks and real estate. You don't got to go crazy. Just those 2 things. And the 4th is just goddamn taxes. Once you understand those 4 things, you just need a general understanding of those 4 things. You will be okay. You can live a comfortable life. Now, are you going to be a millionaire? Probably not, because every fucking video on Instagram, YouTube is millionaires do this. If you want $1 million, million. Like, everything is about getting to this crazy echelon of money. Like, that's not, I don't even understand why that is listen, would I like to be a millionaire one day? Absolutely. Am I working towards it? Yeah. Will it happen? Maybe not. I don't care as long as I'm comfortable. Your only objective in life should just be to be comfortable. And when I say comfortable, all that means is when it's time to pay your bills, you just pay your bills. It's not a scaredness with it. It's not a wondering with it. It's not none of these crazy things. And you know how you get that? By not splurging on dumb shit. Trying to impress people. This is what I was talking about with the collections and stuff like that, right? Like, somebody here, like, somebody here, like I know shoe collectors, and they'll tell somebody, yeah, I just bought some foam posits. Foam posits is $300-$400. Somebody will hear that and be like, oh, he's so stupid, da 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 da. But guess what? That $300-$400 that he spent on foam posits, that's enough satisfaction where he's not gonna get a new car. Hopefully, right? These are the ones I know. The sneaker collectors I know are very smart with their money, actually, outside of their collection. He's not gonna get a new car. He's not gonna buy a bunch of stupid jewelry. He's not gonna go on a trip every 3 fucking months, right? His satisfaction comes from his shoes. And guess what? He can still build his savings. He can still take care of his family. He can still do things and have excess money left over. So he's not trying to keep up with you and the Joneses, because what they say, comparison is a thief of joy. When you're trying to keep up and I got to compete with her, compete with him, and do this. Oh, she just bought a new car. Oh, he just bought. If I'm collecting stuff, I'm just focused on my collection. That's all I care about. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. That's why I'm sipping that pre-workout. But that's all I care about. It's just my collection. And I'm not doing it to keep up with nobody. I don't know any collectors. Now, maybe you might be like, if there's a pair of shoes that you really like, or people collect all types of stuff, trading cards. It is a specific kind that you want, that you see somebody else has. You'll be like, damn, bro, where'd you get that? You want to try to buy it off him. But you're not competing like, oh, he just bought 3 new pairs. I need to go get 3 new pairs. Hell no. You're moving at your own pace because you're doing it because it means something to you. Doing things to mitigate your spending demon, I like to call it, because every American has it, because we're a consumer-based society. Capitalism breeds consumer ideologies. That's what happens. So I said capitalism, but when you're looking at it from that standpoint, whatever you can do to get that demon out your head that makes you want to buy and grab everything up, do it, bro. So whether that be collecting, whether that be hobbies, or whatever the case may be, because all this shit takes up money, and it just keeps getting away, pulls you away. I'll give you an example of myself right now. I wanted to, at one point or another, I wanted a new pair of shoes. I was looking at these Air Maxes. I think the Travis Scott joints. I couldn't get them because I wanted to do we had this thing called Spar Wars, but I had to pay my monthly bill for my gym that I go fight at. Then I had to go do Spar Wars. When those funds came out, I was like, man, that kind of sets me back. If I was to buy these shoes, I'd probably have to go into a little bit of debt. I was like, well, in that case, I just might as well not even get it. If those funds was available, though, I probably would have spent it on those shoes. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's the power of just having other interests that means something to you. Those shoes, don't get me wrong. Do I feel good when I dress up? Absolutely. I love dressing up. Are you gonna feel good when you're wearing those shoes, or when you get a new car or anything like that? Yeah, you're gonna feel great. But it's just for that moment. I feel good every time I go train. I feel good every time I win a medal. I feel good every time I get a new piece to my collection. I told y'all about the fragrance shit. I feel good about that. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, I got some extra bread coming in soon. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about concerts. I just saw they about to do the Future Metro Boomin concert. I'm like, man, I would let it go. But then I'm like, man, delayed gratification. So you know what I'm going to do? I got 2 expensive ass colognes that I've been eyeing for a minute. One's by Bond Number 9. The other one's by goddamn Lullaby. I already smelled the Lullaby one. I've been having this on my radar for a minute. I'm gonna get 2 of them bitches. That's what I'm gonna do. Instead of spending $1,000 or however much I was gonna spend on those other things, I'm gonna spend me a couple hundred and be satisfied with that, because I need that delayed gratification, because the rest of that money needs to go to investing. That way on the back end, then I can do all the cool shit. You see what I'm saying? So, I wanted to speak on this because the the traveling thing, and here's another thing, right? And this is because I think the traveling thing in men is getting big because they see women are liking it. Like now, when you go on these damn dating apps, bro, these girls got a plan in their fucking bio. They talking about some have your passports and got that little stupid ass plane emoji in the bio, gang. You ain't even met her yet. She talking about some had a passport ready. What? Living at your mama house with a talking about a passport. Boy, man. Shit me. I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm talking about. But because the men are seeing a woman so interested in it, I think that's why men are getting so into it. And it's also the other thing is too, it's gonna talk about the elephant in the room. Our generation, Gen Z, I'm technically Gen Z. Gen Z, millennials, goddamn, what is the other one that's coming up? I forgot what the fuck they call the next, whoever the next one is. One thing about us is we're having kids much later, and we're getting married much later, and a lot of us can't get either because we just don't get along with each other as far as genders go. Not going into all the the specifics and stuff, but we just don't get along. Men and women don't get along right now. So because of that, motherfuckers is lonely. So you know what you do when you're lonely? You go find shit to make you feel better. You know what makes a lot of people feel better? For one, portraying an image that they have the money to travel every 5 fucking seconds. And two, if you got a margarita in your mouth across the world, that'll definitely take your mind off the fact that you lonely when you go home at night. just being honest, just being real. But this is what, hobbies. This is what I'm saying. But this is, I really wish I could make like a fucking banner where I could just wave a sign that says hobbies in front of everybody's face. Because this is what I'm talking about. Bro, when I used to make my podcast on Spotify, right? And I still do sometimes. But when I was making those podcasts, I used to always talk about how I never really felt sad or lonely, nothing like that. But I never went into detail why. The reason why is because I don't get a chance to sit in the house and wallow in self-pity. Listen, if you want to sit in the house all fucking day, now albeit I was also dating, so I guess that helps too. But if you want to just sit in the house from the time you get home to the time it's time to go to bed and play on your phone and play the game and eat snacks and shit like that, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be bored. Bro, it's 6:15 right now. I got back home just right before 5, right? I used the bathroom. Y'all didn't need to hear that TMI, but I did a couple things. I cleaned up the crib a little bit, made a little snack. I wanted to make this video. I'm gonna finish drinking my pre-workout. I'm gonna train to about 8:30. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna clean up the kitchen. I'm gonna shower, and then I'm gonna get in bed. In that time frame, when do I have a chance to sit on the couch? I'm so lonely. You know what? I'ma share a fresh and fit post about how these hoes is tricks. When do I have a chance to do that? My normal day, and listen, this is a day where I'm kind of it's not a lot going on. A lot of times, it's the cleaning, it's the training, it's the me cooking, and it's also, goddamn me, I'm working on a book or I'm doing something. I always have things going on. I also gotta wash clothes tonight. Actually, I forgot to mention that too. But you see what I'm talking about? My life is full of things. And then even when I'm at work, I normally work 10 to 12 hours a day. And when I'm driving around to my different sites, guess what? I'm listening to podcasts about finances. I'm listening to things about fragrances. And I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing things that keep me preoccupied and busy. So I don't have time to wallow in self-pity. Now, albeit now I'm in a relationship. But mind you, I was single for 5 fucking years. This isn't some shit I just now made up. 5 years. And there was never a point in time where I just sat in the house with a bottle of liquor, like fucking with Teddy Pendergrass playing I Miss You. I'm so lonely. If you gonna sit in the house, that's what's gonna happen, bro. But you're not gonna tell me it's a better alternative instead of having hobbies, which might cost you a couple $100 a month. If that, there's a whole bunch of cheap ones. Instead of doing that, you're gonna go spend two racks on a fucking trip that you really can't afford. And again, bro, and I'm saying, and then the thing is too, right? Like, people also have this idea, well, you might as well do it now before you have kids. You can't go and nada. Bro, first and foremost, you're literally setting yourself up to be straight. Kids, from the friends I have, having kids is not wildly expensive. From what my friends tell me, it is more expensive, but you now have less time on your hands to do a lot of other things. My reason why I waited so long to have kids was the fact that I knew I knew what the circumstances of how I started my adult life. I had no false connotations in my head about how easy it was. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be hard. This is why I'm saying, like, I accepted what life was going to be. I knew that no one knew what the fuck I was talking about. Right? Like, when you're starting out and when you're first getting on your feet in the world and trying to find your career, it's good to have mentors, but sometimes you just don't have the opportunity. There was no one. I'm sitting there talking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be an electrician and do this with the trades and invest in this. Bro, I'm talking like this at 20. People, what the fuck are you talking about? I swear, I'm on the phone. People, I'm straight up. People, what are you talking about? So it was a learning curve. So I got to learn. So I understood that in a situation like that, while I'm dealing with a learning curve, along with crazy hours, along with all this stuff, what time do I have to be a dad? And God forbid the shit goes south and I got child support. Oh, Lord. Bro, hell no. So I was like, bro, it didn't make any sense. So I had to wait. But, you know, I also understood that the work that I'm putting in, when I finally do have kids, I don't think anyone's ever ready off gate to have kids. It's always a learning curve because being a parent's not perfect. But the more legwork you do and more shit you take care of before they get here, the easier things are going to be. If I was to have kids right now, it'll shock me and it'll scare me a little bit. But I'm not going to be wondering how I'm going to feed the baby. I know how I'm going to feed the baby. You see what I'm saying? But when you've been fucking your money up on trips and racking up crazy debt and your credit fucked up, well, whoo, good luck. But hey, YOLO, right? I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I love that song. I hate that fucking phrase. That is the worst phrase. If there's three phrases that I think are the worst phrases to ever happen to the black community, it's YOLO, it's keep it real, and it's God's gonna make a way. Those are the three worst fucking statements because they are the number one coping mechanism statements in the black community. YOLO is just an excuse to do something stupid. That's all that is. Goddamn, keeping it real is an excuse to crash out when you know you're wrong. That's what that is. And the God's gonna make a way is an excuse to not do shit and just sit there and hope that something's gonna save you instead of putting in the work yourself. Those three statements are terrible. Every time I hear them, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't hear. You know what? I don't hear them like that no more. You want to know why I don't hear them like that no more? Because I don't hang with motherfuckers who say that shit. If those words, and can't, I hate can't, but I don't just limit that just to black people. But those are the three words. But if you say any four of those fucking words, I don't want you around me. Don't come around me talking about what you can't do. I can't go to the gym. I can't save money. I can't. Shut the fuck up. Get out my face, bro. I don't want to hear nothing like that. Don't fuck out my face talking like that, bro. I get a little worked up. I just hate hearing shit like that, bro. So it's like you gotta set yourself up for the future, bro. And I knew this was gonna be a longer video, and I'm cool with it because I wanted to be long because I wanted to get my point across, bro. Life is not a game. Going back to those phrases I was telling you about, God's gonna make a way. Guess what? He ain't coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. I know you thinking that Joe Biden's gonna send a stimulus check, and then after he send a stimmy, then Donald Trump gonna come back and he gonna send a stimmy, and he gonna lower the taxes, and he gonna make more jobs. You're just gonna magically wake up one day to $10,000 in your bank account and a new job offer. It's not happening. You gotta do it. A lot of people don't get told this enough, bro. If you're fucked up in life, I had to tell myself this. When I went on that trip to Orlando and all that shit happened after the fact, I had to tell myself, your life's fucked up because you fucked up. That was my self-talk. Going back to what I was talking about. You got to have a self-talk with yourself. I had to tell myself, bro, you suck right now because you suck. It's nobody else's fault. Not enough people are being told your life sucks because you fucking suck. That's something that not enough people get told. I tell myself that all the fucking... Whenever I fuck up, I tell myself that. I'm fucked up because I am fucking up in life. Whenever I gain too much weight and I'm looking sloppy and I'm looking at these pictures, I'm like, I don't even want to take pictures. I know in my head, I look like that because I've been bullshitting. I ain't been hustling. I'm just now starting to get back in decent shape right now. And I'm still not where I want to be. You know why? Because I'm not taking my diet nearly seriously enough. You gotta be 100. You gotta accept things for what the fuck it is, bro. Just what it is. So yeah, this went on a lot longer than I thought it was, man. But I had to come out and speak on this, bro, because man, financial literacy is so important. It really is. And it's so unfortunate that a lot of us go through our lives and we never get a chance to really hear about it. Now, I wanted to go more in depth about, specific things, but I didn't want this to be too boring, so I wanted to make sure I was making it kind of entertaining. I'll keep y'all engaged, but, it's Devontae, man. It's Reap Motivation, bro. Y'all be easy, man.